Hi, everybody. Alexia and I welcome you to our podcast. And Alexia suggested a whole new series called Do You Know? And tonight, the first one is Do you know that we actually have three brains, not one? And this is really exciting stuff. And Dr. Paul McLean at the National Institute of Health, that's who paid my salary for many years, okay, he was the one who discovered the triune brain, meaning three. And it's a beautiful model which the experts accept now, and it's based on Mother Nature, evolution herself. So it's a really exciting model. So keep in mind, 1, 2, 3. Okay, what's number one? Number one is at the bottom, and it's actually called the reptilian brain. And it's in the brain stem, if you like fancy language, the medulla oblongata brain stem. And all it does good housekeeping, takes care of business, keeps us alive, keeps the heart beating, the lung breathing, and digests our food, just like a reptile. But the sine qua non is that no emotions. That's the key thing. Just like when you see a reptile, no emotions whatsoever, just alive, period. Then there was a quantum leap in evolution, and that became the mammalian brain. And mammals, as you know, Alexia and I watch a lot of, David Attenborough and animal videos, and you'll see a lion, okay? And the lion exhibits tender, loving care for the family, touch, snuggling, taking care of the youngsters. That's emotions. So we went from reptilian brain, no emotion, to mammalian brain, emotions, also known as the social brain, the chemical brain, okay, and if you like fancy language, the limbic system. But the key here is the emotions. And it's no small coincidence that that's where all these chemicals are, including the chemicals for addiction. So the example there would be something as simple as, let's say, sugar, okay? Now, sugar is not cocaine or heroin or morphine or speed, dextroamphetamine, but the point is it could also hit that addictive center, which is in the emotional brain, or if you want to say, mammalian brain. So once again, the bottommost layer, reptilian brain. Then the second layer is the mammalian brain. And then with us humans, we have everyone knows the incredible cortex, which grows forward. So the most recent part is the frontal part, which is the prefrontal cortex. And what does that do? Well, that is abstract thinking, sort of like a math professor, let's say, in college, very abstract, abstruse, higher order thinking. So those are the three parts, the triune brain, okay, reptilian, mammalian, and then, quote, the human brain with the higher level thinking, planning, and logic, rational thinking. And now let's ask Alexia if she can actually pull out and render any practical pointers to help you out from this otherwise theoretical discussion on the triune brain. And Alexia can. And her major point is regarding the human brain, the human cortex, especially the prefrontal cortex, because it is so powerful. It's more powerful than any computer. And what it'll do, if left to its own devices, it's called the default mechanism, okay, in psychology and psychiatry. What it'll do, it's so powerful that it'll constantly go backwards and reflect on the past. All the regrets that we have of the past. I should have done this, But then if that's not enough, what it'll do is project into the future and worry about this and worry about that. So it will regret the past and worry about the future constantly with that newly discovered default mechanism. So this is Alexia's pointer to help you out. Of course, everyone knows Alexia loves to help out people, okay? And that is, sure, we have to reflect on the past and we have to reflect on the future, but sometimes it gets a little out of control. So here's Alexia's advice: stay in the present, okay? Well, how do we do that? Well, if you remember yesterday, Alexia's pointer on breathing and mindfulness, those are two big modalities for anchoring oneself in the present. And the paradox actually is that the more you stay in the present, the less stress there is. And actually, you're a lot more efficient and a lot more focused when you stay in the present. So once again, is that, see, the tendency of the mind, because it's so incredibly powerful, especially that memory area, is to go think about, constantly ruminate on the past, constantly project into the future. But actually, where it's at, life is always in the present. And Alexia's 2 pointers for staying in the present, from those who remembered yesterday's podcast, she always cites the great psychologist, Dr. Ellen Langer, who was one of our superstars on Women's History Month in March. And she was the one, Dr. Langer, who coined the term mindfulness. So Alexia says, follow Dr. Langer, stay mindful, which is virtually synonymous with staying in the present. And then Alexia gave a pointer yesterday, it's worth repeating, is do your nasal breathing, and then you're forced to stay in the present. So this new series, which Alexia designed, is really, kind of, did you know? And then, some really interesting topics. So today was our first one. Did you know that we have 3 brains, not one? So thank Alexia for that. And we will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.